It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good. And you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit.
After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had the chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
A lot of more hands-on activities, a lot more about woodworking and what to do, how to make a career for myself.
It's not only for guys. I am actually learning how to make cupboards and put everything together, like doors, cabinets. It's really fun, actually.
Yeah, well, It's really amazing to see their growth over the course of a year and how they can come in with no real skill at all and leave being able to actually produce furniture and cabinetry.
Houses need cabinets, businesses. Having a pool of resources or kids that have some knowledge in the industry would be real good.
Pull down on that. Let's slide these up. Watch fingers.
It's changed a lot. What I'm seeing here is what it's going towards. The CNC equipment, computers. I could actually build cabinets out of this shop. It's state of the art. It really is.
I am constantly looking for students that have been through these programs. It's always nice to have a person that has some experience. It's a lot easier to train. I think we're fortunate in Bakersfield that the Kern High School District has invested in a program like this. I would encourage other businesses to partner up with the Kern High School District like I've done here, because this really shows you what can be done if business comes together with the Kern High School District.
This is where we're going to train the kids to actually get jobs in the industry. We're going to give them the basic tools that they need, also the skills that they need to understand where they fit into the industry.
All the animated things, because we have everything that we need in the scenes.
They are learning the principles of animation, Photoshop. They're learning how to animate in 2D and 3D. And when you swap to that shape, then you're just going to drag these over here.
The storyboard aspect of creating basically the skeleton of the story, and then just sort of directing people on my vision of what I want in the story. And it's also giving me the advantage of Mr. Pollard, since he's worked at so many companies, being able to put it in my resume and be like, this is the art direction I've received.
I was shearing my lamb for fair. I have 2 lambs. Taking care of animals is you feed them twice a day, make sure they have water, walk them, make sure they're ready for fair.
Vet science is the first year before you can actually go into animal science, and it's a lot of like hands-on with the different animals, and you get to learn different things such as giving shots, castrating, all that fun stuff. For me, wanting to be a vet when I'm older, it helped prepares me. All the stuff that I'm learning in ag is definitely going to help me.
I'm in ag communications. Anything that you see on the Facebook page is what we do, and pictures, and we do all the posters that are around campus, anything that just promotes ag.
Our students are all part of the FFA organization, and through that we have a chapter officer team. We do monthly chapter meetings because we're trying to get them involved outside of class so they can find something that they're interested in, and they need something that's going to hook them so that they're ready for life after high school.
In animal care, the students learn a variety of things, whether it's tools or terms. In the veterinary field, they learn about the skeletal systems, animal nutrition, the housing, how to properly care for them. They also have the opportunity in the spring to actually go work at a veterinary hospital or at an animal shelter or a grooming and salon.
Animal restraint, weight and temperature, pulse, respiration, all of that I learned here.
They take a state certified test, and if they pass, they become a certified vet assistant right out of high school.
It's always hands-on, and so I think that's what really helps us is that we're not just getting it from a textbook, we're actually doing these things, and we're actually practicing these things that we'll be doing in our future careers.
It's wicked cool. It's our new aviation class. It gives kids a chance to break into the industry. There's a lot of careers in aviation. This class is a lot more than just flying planes.
We've learned so much already. We've learned how to take off. We've learned instrument flight rules. It's something everyone can do, I think.
Good. And you see, remember that horizon? Try to keep it parallel to your cockpit.
After the 2-year program, they're going to be able to take the knowledge test for their private pilot exam. I am a pilot. I've been in Bakersfield for 10 years. I worked as an instructor for 6 years and then became a corporate pilot. And I'm a teacher here. We have amazing equipment. Even flight schools don't have that much equipment.
You put a class like this somewhere at North High, and it's really preparing kids to succeed because it gives them a whole new set of opportunities they never knew that they had the chance to pursue. I'm proud to say that I'm from North High School and that we have administration that's willing to put the money into offering really, really neat programs like this and preparing kids to succeed.
We're in manufacturing engineering. We design parts, 3D parts, 2D parts, we create assemblies.
It's helping me get training in all of this stuff, like the computer programs that we have here, the machines that we have here. We learn a lot of math in here, mostly geometry and fractions, because I love math. That's why I'm in this class.
Mr. Lemmy, he's a great instructor.
So the problem is this piece itself.
He really goes hands-on with us. He helps us as much as we can. We've learned a lot from him.
Right now we're supplying students that are skilled in the safety, basic operation of machine work, and then they also leave with some soft skills. They understand they have to be on time. They understand that they have to get up and talk to people. Most of them are walking out of here with a solid foundation in the entry level of a trade.
They can have a job anywhere they go because they have a basic understanding of what it's going to take to put products out that people are going to use.
Hopefully this is a good career for me. End up doing something good, have a good life, and make some money.
Well, we're learning a lot, and especially with just the basic knowledge of what you would need for an entry-level job.
All the basic skills to be a medical assistant in a doctor's office or a clinic.
You're leaning on it, and that'll make a difference.
And then they also do on-the-job training, and they work in doctor's offices or clinics throughout Kern County. The kids are job ready, and many of them are employed before the end of the school year. They're promised a job, as well as they continue their education. We have many registered nurses out there and even physicians.
I'm thinking I want to be an anesthesiologist. So a lot of school, but it'll be worth it in the end. We're learning the different roles, what a game designer is, what they do, and how video games are made, and how to deconstruct them.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Frontier High School as the Frontier Titans host the Garces Memorial Rams. Garces, 1-5, facing the Frontier Titans team at 4-2 that's coming off a stunning loss to a Ridgeview Wolfpack team. And speaking of former Ridgeview Wolfpack greatness, I got Coach Cornford joining me on tonight's broadcast along with producer-director Dr. Julian Wilson. But, Coach, always a pleasure to work with you. Great to see you. How you doing tonight?
Doing great, Kenny. Nice to be back in these stomping grounds.
Well, you know, so Coach, we had some time to talk in pregame. We talked about strength of schedule. People look at records and you see Garces at 1-5, and you're like, oh, they may not be that good. Well, they've played some of the best teams in the history of football leading up through the preseason, and now they start River League play. What do you expect out of the Rams tonight?
Well, I think this is going to be an extremely competitive game tonight. Garces played the 5th toughest schedule in the state so far. They are 1-5. They just played Liberty, the number 3 team in our section. They lost 13-0. But despite their 1-5 record, the computer has them ranked number 12 in our entire section. So this is not your typical 1-5 team. This is a team that's hungry to prove that they are legit.
Coach Gola, he's perennial winner. He's done so much in the community. Now let's talk about Frontier. You got Coach Big Show Bandy, does a great job getting his guys ready. They have a quarterback in Malachi Stadler, who's been one of the most impressive quarterbacks I've seen this season in this pro-style offense with some pro coaching pedigree on the sideline as well. What do you expect out of the Titans?
Well, the Titans are going to come out throwing. And one of the things Statler does well is get the ball out of his hand. He's thrown for 1,800 yards so far in 6 games. So you do the math, that's 300 yards a game passing by the Titans, and they have put loads of points on the board so far.
Yeah, one of the things that I've loved about watching the Titans play, and I've gotten the chance to cover them twice, this is my 3rd time, they have some youth that is very impressive. They got some young guys on the edge that have been contributing at a high level, and I'm excited to see what they're going to do against a Garces team that has high expectations. League play is a totally different thing now. We're going to start to see what the true measuring stick is as we get into the meat of the presentation for the season. So I'm excited, Coach. Definitely honored to have you. Let's get it on for the show. Want to thank our sponsors at Valley Strong Credit Union. Also want to thank our staff at the Kern High School District Superintendent's Office. Our boss, Stan Green, is going into the Hall of Fame in a couple of weeks. It's an amazing opportunity for Stan, being our only national champion quarterback in a long time, I'd say. We had 4 national championships, but when you think about it, it's been a while since we won one, and for him to go in is an amazing thing. So congratulations, Stan. I'm excited to see you on October 20th at Luigi's as you're inducted into the BC Renegade Hall of Fame. We definitely want to thank the Frontier Administration, Principal Vicki Thompson, AP of Instruction Brian Easter, AP of Administration Jennifer Madden, Athletics Director Mike Gibson, and Activities Director Lynette Cornford.
I recognize that name.
Absolutely, Coach.
My sister-in-law.
You know, we want to thank Frontier High School. They always set it up for us. Definitely want to thank my partner, Titan Tom, Touchdown Tom, what I call him when he's up on the hill with the Renegades. But this is going to be an amazing battle. Garces kicking off, Frontier receiving, heading north.
Special teams could well play the difference in this game. I know one of the issues Garces has had was multiple deep snappers have gone down.
Yeah, and Coach, you know, for me, that makes the point to the fact if I look over to the sideline and you only see about maybe 35 to 40 players over there for Garces, if that. I think we're being generous. You know, so losing one or two guys is a huge deal when you're already short on numbers.
Now, that being said, they lost their main guy before the season started, so they have adapted there. And other than that, Coach Gola said that they're relatively healthy coming in. But, yeah, you definitely look at the difference between the two sidelines and just the sheer numbers of guys.
So we have an offsides penalty. It backs the Rams up. And now they're going with a nice squib kick inside. And that's going to set up great field position for Frontier. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Titans.
A lot of times when you think of Frontier, you think of big pounding linemen, and they certainly have that. But really, they've got some pretty darn good track speed over on their side of the ball. A couple receivers that can really get after it. Look for John Appleton, who's a stud track guy, number 2. Mason Tapia, great blocker at wide receiver, has 400 yards receiving. And Devin Cochran, also a great ball catcher and track guy here. So Frontier's going to look to throw first, likely. We'll see how the Garces defense holds up against the pass.
All right, we got a quick stop and play with trips open set for the Titans. But, you know, like you said, Coach, they like to spread it around. They do a great job of going tempo as well, too. So now we got motion. They motion the doubles. Stadler and shotgun. Emptying out to Black. And they're taking a shot right away. And there's that matchup that you talked about, Coach. And he had a step.
He did have a step. And, you know, one of the things that Garces under Coach Gola is going to do is you'll notice none of their defensive linemen getting into the stance. And it was tough with that motion and shifting. Frontier was trying to get them to jump off sides, and it looked like blitzes were coming from every different angle. And that's one of the dilemmas that a Paul Gola coach defense will give you is you do not know who's coming.
Right, I'm very familiar with that, you know, from his driller days. Those guys don't put a hand in the ground. Ultimately, they're going to need to get some pressure as you see Frontier coming out in that empty set, meaning they're going to get rid of the ball quick. Oh, and Stadler looking off rhythm so far. It's going to be incomplete, trying to go for that one quick step rocket screen.
So one of the big things about this Garces defense is that they don't necessarily look for size in their defensive linemen. If you can call them defensive linemen. Like I said, they're all standing up. Jelani Smith is one of their top defenders, number 21. He's 170 pounds on the D-line. You think, hey, maybe we can just mash right at these guys, but they're very effective at getting to the ball.
Absolutely. Empty set for Malachi Stadler. He has time, and he has a guy, and that's complete, and that's a catch. And that's going to be the first down of the contest for the Titans.
Great tackle out there. Tough to read these Garces numbers, but it looks like number 4, David Smith, put a clinic on tackling, but after the first down. So good response by Frontier on facing a 3rd and long.
Wow, so the spot is going to have him short. I actually had him a little bit closer.
Yeah, that's a long yard. I thought for sure that they'd picked it up. Then I saw the massive change coming in with the punt team. Nobody's covering this guy down here. And now the Garces just picked it up, but
so huge stop for the Rams. It looked like they let him off the hook, but now we get our first look at the Garces offense, Coach. Who do we have to watch?
So quarterback by Jordan Gallegos. Passing-wise, you look at him, 48%, 300-plus yards. But, again, they're playing against teams like Lincoln and Los Alamitos that have 11 to 1 guys on these rosters. It's first of all, you're going to get pressured a lot. And secondly, they're going to have tight coverage on your guys. So it'll be interesting because Frontier has starting 3 underclassmen in their secondary, one of which is a freshman playing corner.
Right.
So we'll see if they can open up their passing game a little bit here in their spread set.
Well, they come out in the quads left. Very odd set. They're going with that bubble screen, and that's incomplete.
Good setup. I think they got the numbers that they wanted because Frontier had a couple guys on the short side here that, were going to be completely out of the play over there. So I will bet Garces will come back to that here shortly and try and exploit that again. Nobody's covering this receiver down here. Oh, he's coming over late. But if they could get a little tempo, they might be able to get something going with Frontier flip-flopping.
And it looks like they're wanting to go tempo, Coach, as they go trips open set. And they go with the quick hitch. That's going to be a 6-yard gain for the Rams.
Yeah, that was much better pass that time. Took what the defense gave them. And, again, Frontier has been vulnerable to teams that have been throwing the ball on them. Last week they really struggled with Ridgeview's running game. So I'm anxious to see how this defense responds tonight. And this is a huge third down for them to start off with.
Absolutely. Also a huge third down stop opportunity for the Titans as they come out in quarters coverage with a 30 even front. And now they're going speed option left. Oh, and a nice pitch right at the right moment.
That was a great pitch. We were talking before the game about a guy named Tommy Frazier, who ran the option for Nebraska better than just about anybody. And, Goal has got a long history of option football, pure option football back in his Bakersfield High days. There we see a little speed option from this spread set.
Definitely, and that's a huge first down conversion for the Rams. Trips right, bunch set.
Again, an unbalanced set for them.
Oh, we have movement. So, Coach, we talked about level of competition. Frontier, though they have the 2 losses, both losses, total of 3 points between the 2 losses.
Yeah, and it was, I think it was 49-47 to Hanford, 47-46 to Ridgeview. So a couple shootouts that they've been involved in.
So now we have a penalty, and that's a sideline warning for the Titans. And I'm telling you guys, we had about 5 sideline warnings called over the last 2 weeks at the East High games. I think we're getting a little bit of notification from all of these crews, making sure they can work with some comfort. 1st and 15 for the Rams, 10:03 to play here in this first quarter.
So you see with this setup, it's set up for bubble screens with the extra blocker out there that's ineligible.
Nice keeper by the quarterback. Pitched the last one. That time he just hit the B gap. And he's going to get about 5 yards there, bringing up a second and maybe 6.
Now I'm anxious to see David Smith. We've already seen him a little bit defensively with that good tackle, but he's the main tailback, and he's been out a couple weeks. He's finally back this week, but he's averaging over 8 yards a carry, so very dynamic athlete.
One of the things I like about the Rams, they did come out and try to pass first. Their perennial running game, but to see them try to do things in the air is very impressive, and they go right back to it, to that hitch, and that's going to be another first down for the Rams, caught by number 1, Ian Harrison.
Well, you look at how far back the Frontier corners are playing. They're giving up that hitch, and Garces just taking it. That was James Moon out there defending on that play.
Yeah, and I know Coach Kenny Haas ain't happy with that. Former USC Trojan coaching these defensive backs for the Titans.
Former state champ in the hurdles.
Absolutely. He was one of our nemesis over there at Pasadena Muir. But that's a nice out route and great blocking by the receiver and still on his feet. Amazing route combination, but just fantastic blocking by that receiver out there.
Yeah, and one of the things we talked about already was how good Frontier blocks out wide. They got a taste of their own medicine right there with Garces receiver doing an excellent job locking up that defender.
So if you notice the pink numbers on the field, it is Breast Cancer Awareness Night. Here for the Titans, we will get you a shot of a sea of pink on the track with these beautiful young cheerleaders. But right now, we got a toss sweep and some great blocking downfield. And it looks like Garces is controlling the line of scrimmage. And now a little bit of extracurriculars as I see a helmet fly off, and he's going to have to leave the field. But that's a amazing first down carry.
We'll see multiple running backs for Garces in here. Most of them play defense, too. That was Jelani Smith on that one. They've got David Smith in right now. So a bunch of different guys will carry the ball, doing a good job mixing up the run and the pass, keeping Frontier off balance.
Trips open, shotgun set for the Rams. Oh, and such soft coverage outside is going to give up another touchdown. And just like you called it, Coach Corford, soft coverage is being attacked, and they're throwing those hitches right away in their own line.
Yeah, very good timing by them. The ball's in the air before the receiver breaks back for it. And, boy, unless Frontier tightens up that coverage, that's going to be available to them all night long.
Absolutely, and being a former defensive back, you got two former defensive headbusters up here in the broadcast booth, but you have to understand situational awareness. You can't be 12 to 15 yards off a guy in the red zone. That's just spelling disaster because you're too far away from him to make any kind of difference. And now that we got a block kick, will that come back to haunt the Rams?
We talked about the special teams and especially the deep snapper here for the Garces Rams, that they're on about their fourth guy over there. And it wasn't a terrible snap, but it was a little slow. And obviously I think Frontier scouted it out and brought the rush from the outside and got a pretty easy block.
And that's a great point, Coach, because one of the things I like highlighting is how important all phases of the game is. My coach, Jimmy Red Parker, rest his soul in heaven, former Clemson assistant, he always told us, the last three things he told us before going onto the field: win the turnover battle, win all three phases of the game, and just play your hearts out. Because people underestimate the importance of special teams, and losing a long snapper can definitely affect the success of your football team.
Yes, it can, as we just saw right there. So I'll be anxious to see if they start going for two after that one was blocked so easily. Had a nice shot there. The Junior Titans, if you noticed, a bunch of little small ones out here today. Little program that the Frontiers put together.
Kick is taken at the 20-yard line, and that's going to be great coverage by the Rams. Oh, he's still on his feet. And that's Appleton, one of the toughest players on the field, if I'm not mistaken. He was one of my players of the game in my first contest for Frontier versus Bakersfield High. He took a kickoff return to the house that basically changed the outcome of the game.
Yeah, and he's a returning all-area guy. Very, very smart, Coach Bandy says. One of the smartest guys he's ever coached. And Coach Bandy's been around a while. He was an assistant coach with me when we won the Valley Championship at West way back in 2005. He was my offensive coordinator.
Oh, yeah, because I ended up getting a couple of your guys, Kenny Graham, and coaching them up the next year on my Renegade defense, Coach.
KG3.
Absolutely. One of my favorite players I ever coached. It was his birthday this week, so happy birthday, KG. But my favorite KG story is I was motivating him to get my interception mark. In the last game of his career, he passed my interception mark, and it was one of my proudest moments watching KG.
He certainly did not lack confidence.
Oh, yeah, he didn't lack confidence. Biggest smile in the room. Statler being pressured, and now he has a man wide open, and that's going to be across the 30, 20, and there's that talent Coach Cornford talked about, and we got a game, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, that was really impressive by Statler there to keep his eyes downfield while pushing up into the pocket. Coached by Tyler Ferguson, who played at Penn State, had a little dip in the NFL over there, but you can see excellent coaching for the junior quarterback.
And I've covered Statler throughout the season. I follow him on Instagram. This kid is cool under pressure, and he's turning into a better guy extending plays than people expect out of him.
Well, that was a prime example right there, because that was textbook what a quarterback should do with a little bit of pressure. Instead of just trying to bail out one side or the other, stepped up into the pocket, kept the eyes downfield. Great job by the receiver to find an open space.
Yeah, and that was my point coming into the game. I know Garces has played a tough schedule. You know, a lot of local talent and former coaches picked them to be the top dog in town. But after I saw Statler twice, this kid is pretty special, and he has the tools to put himself in a position to do everything he needs to do to win a football game.
Well, that was touchdown pass number 15 for him on the season.
Wow. Kick is up, kick is good, and the Frontier Titans have a lead after the Garces Rams blow their PAT opportunity. So, Coach, we'll take our first break and come back with more Kern High Network football right after this. All right, welcome back to Frontier High School. Frontier Titans, Malachi Statler putting the touchdown on the board. I didn't get the receiver. We'll try to get that number for you. But ultimately, great job by the Titans responding. And Coach Bandy has his guys ready to go.
For everybody out there watching, it is difficult for us to see the gold on white and the blue on black numbers sometimes.
Especially during the play. Like, we may be able to pull out the binoculars after the play and try to get guys, but during the context of the play, it's nearly impossible to get these Rams numbers. But we'll do our best, ladies and gentlemen, because I expect a lot of scoring going on how this first quarters went, because it's 7:38 left to play, and we're already at 7-6. It's going to be a shootout. 1st and 10 Rams.
Great first possession for the Rams. Did most of it through the air, but kept them off balance with a little option football. So anxious to see what they do this series.
Trips open set. They're going right back to the air, and they got pressure, and that's an amazing job in the backfield by the big man inside, number 77.
That's Travis Perry.
Travis Perry.
Yeah, first team all-area offensive lineman, plays defense, benches over 320 pounds.
Wow.
Big boy right there. You know, Garces' offensive line average is about 290 across the front, so they're no slouches either when it comes to the big boy department.
I agree. Now they got the trap block inside. Great job by the defensive line, just not giving up ground and keeping that bottled up for a short gain.
So big play for the Frontier defense, trying to get off on a 3rd and about 6 here. You know, with the Rams special teams difficulties, could be 4-down territory for them if they pick up 3 or 4 on this particular play.
Yeah, I agree, Coach, and that's the mentality of Coach Gola. Even going back to his driller days, he's not afraid to take those opportunities in 3rd and short.
Tighten up the coverage by the corners.
It looks like a little bit of two-man. And now they go right back to speed option. Oh, and it's thrown. And they blow it dead. And I'm somewhat confused, Coach, because he was still on his feet and he threw the ball while he was still standing.
Now, I don't advise that as a quarterback, but he did. Yeah, that's a bad call there. I think the official thought he was about to get murdered and was trying to save him, but blew that whistle a little early.
Yeah, we definitely, I'll try my best not to harp on the officials because it is a very tough job and they are shorthanded, working their tails off. But definitely like to have some consistency in those moments because those are the kind of plays that can be difference makers.
Solid looking snap there. So that's encouraging for Garces that at least their punt snap seemed to have a pretty good pace on it.
So great job by the Frontier defense, bowing up, and you're going to have to get those kind of stops. Just a great job really being prepared to cover that option after not doing so well in the first drive, Coach.
Yeah, they were all over it that time. And you saw one of the big things that Garces did that first drive was throw those easy hitches and some easy out routes. Well, Frontier looked like they jumped up into a cover 2, which covers those flats much better, able to press from that outside alignment, take away those outs and quick hitches.
Absolutely, because as a defense, you want to try to challenge people to get the ball over your head. Show me that you can beat me deep in those moments. But now they got to reverse it. They got some nice blocking out here. But that's a great job by the defender getting off the block, and an amazing tackle by number 7, Julian Juju Smith.
You see some of the speed that Devin Cochran had on that reverse, but great pursuit by the Garces Rams to keep that to just a 4-yard gain.
Oh, yeah, Cochran came up from that safety position. Just a fantastic angle because it looked like it was blocked pretty well. Second and 6. Here.
Frontier looking to find that matchup.
Oh, and now we got movement.
Looked like Mason Tapia just leaning in and out a little bit there out of his stance.
Yeah, Tapia looked like he was eager to try to go out there and get one of those corners on a block the way he was releasing. Nonetheless, that's going to cost them the positive yardage on the first down. It's making it 2nd and 12 for the Titans heading north.
What you said there, Mason Tapia loves to block, and you can see it in the effort he puts into it. Coach Bandy compared him to A.J. Jefferson, who he had played for the Cardinals and the Vikings in the NFL as the best blocking receivers he's ever had.
Absolutely, one of my fellow Redbirds. And now that's a nice screen setup, but great defense by the Rams. And, Coach, you talked about the size on the line up front. It looks like they didn't lose any ground there.
No, great team pursuit there. They had all 11 hats near the football when the whistle blew. So, tough situation here. I know, playing Gola teams in the past, you did not want to be in 3rd and long against them because of the angles and the pressure that they could put on quarterbacks.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what we have here. 3rd and 13, trip set for Statler.
Watch for number 16, Devin Cochran, who's a great 50-50 ball guy.
Statler making a move, still getting pressured, still on his feet, avoids 5 people and finally gets it out to avoid the disaster. But how about the escapability of Statler?
He got slung not once but twice on that play, kept his feet, and wisely got rid of the ball, saved him probably about 16 yards in field position. He'd have been sacked back there.
Yeah, great mature decision to try to get rid of it when you finally could, because I thought he was going to try to bring it up when he was sheltered in, and that could have been a huge turnover opportunity. Nonetheless, it'll be 4th and 13 for the Titans, and we'll get a look at Ian Harrison back deep for the Rams.
So 2 good stops by both defenses here, settling things down in the first quarter.
And that's a nice high punt. It's going to take a Titans bounce.
Whoa. Dangerous move there by the Titans. When you touch that ball, notice the official didn't blow it dead right away. That would have been a good move by the Garces Ram to pick that up because that's called an illegal touch. And the receiving team can pick that up, run all the way, pitch around. The worst thing that could ever happen to them was they get the ball at that spot. So it doesn't kill the ball when you just touch it. We always teach our guys, pick it up and hand it to the official.
Also, Coach, it looked like it was still bouncing with force heading north. You don't even want to try to test that anyway because you're taking away field position from yourself. But nonetheless, 1st and 10 for the Rams. And they go with that unbalanced set again with the stacked trips.
You see, Frontier's got 4 defenders in that direction. So expect Garces to do something other than throw it out here.
And that's exactly why we got you in the booth, Coach. They go speed option right, but just a great job by that defensive end.
That penetration killed that play.
Oh, yeah, and that's an amazing job by Landon Heredia, just getting upfield and keeping contained and forcing that back inside.
So one of those tricks that worked for Garces early, Frontier's adjusted and taken it away as this game of chess continues.
2nd and 12.
Now
Trips
this
open
set looks like Garces should be able to run the ball inside.
And that's exactly where they go, Coach. ISO inside. And they get about 4, and that's going to bring up 3rd and 8. And we thought we were going to have a shootout, but it looks like the defense has something else in mind as they're starting to tough it up in that interior.
Yep. Again, these 3rd down plays, much tougher when the corners are playing tighter, especially if the corners can run with your receivers. Now,
and the bot snap. And that's going to be incomplete and just a disaster for the Rams on a very important 3rd and 7, and that's going to bring out the punt team and another great stop for the Titans defense.
what I'm guessing happened on that play is that Garces didn't actually have a play called. They were simply trying to get Frontier to jump, and everybody knew that but the Garces center. So he snaps the ball, the quarterback's not ready, none of the other people are ready for it, and ends up being a disaster. And speaking of a Garces name, it doesn't get more Garces than Fanucchi back to punt here for the Rams.
All right, and you got Devin Cochran back deep for the Titans. And if they can get any kind of return, now there's a high snap. We talked about the struggles with the lone snapper. But that's a nice punt. And that's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Titans from the 33-yard line. A great stop by the defense.
So for the Titans, really what we've seen from them was the one big play after the scramble. Other than that, Garces has kept them pretty well contained. So was that big play a fluke, or is that something that we might see more of?
Yeah, I mean, because really, Statler's been under pressure the whole night. They haven't really had much success getting anything positive other than that scramble play for the touchdown. See if they can find some rhythm as they come out in the empty set. Statler drops back. Comfortable pocket, and he has 2 men in the same area, and that's nearly a catch. But we have a flag, and it's usually in the area of PI. And what's going on with the route combination, Coach? 2 guys in the same area.
Yeah, not sure there, but I've never seen a quarterback feel so comfortable in the pocket. He was, surveying the field. Great protection there by the Frontier offensive line. Got a defensive holding call against the Rams here.
Man, there was not a Garces Ram defender within 5 yards of Statler. And if their offensive line can do that consistently, it's going to be a tough night for this Rams secondary, as you're seeing the receivers get behind them already.
And that's usually a ball that these Titan receivers come down with. They're big. They're 6'1" and 6'2", and they go up after those balls really, really well.
1st and 10 for Statler, empty set.
Statler's known for getting the ball out quick. Might have some hitches here out wide.
They go with that stretch, and that's going to be nothing doing. A 1-yard loss, actually. Great pursuit by the Rams.
Yeah, Samuel Marquez there on that fly sweep, and the Rams were all over that. Great team pursuit defensively.
So one of the things you'll see from the Titans, they usually go no huddle. It's not always a hurry up, more of a check with me.
Well, if they want to throw a hitch down here, they've got it.
And they go up top with the hitch, Coach. And I think they like the matchup up there. And, oh, my goodness, still on his feet across the 25 or 35. And how about the toughness? Devin Cochran, yards after contact. Amazing.
Yeah, we said they are big. They are monsters. Very physical receivers. Talking about their love for blocking. They got 2 guys that have 400 yards receiving, so they know what to do after the catch. And you see, getting the ball out quick is the key.
And they're going after him now, too, Coach, and he's still breaking tackles, and that's another 1st down reception.
Same thing's true that we said with Frontier defensively. Garces has to play tighter and not give them that ball. Now, when you do that, you open yourself up to the vertical passing game. But right now, the Titans are killing them with these hitches.
I've talked about the talent that I've seen early in the season. We're starting to see that rhythm come for Statler and his offense as well. 1st and 10. They go back with that stretch play, and that's going to be a flag. Let's see what this flag is, ladies and gentlemen.
Usually it's a hold when you're trying to get the ball out wide and it's thrown in that area.
So 39 seconds to play in the first quarter. If you're wondering how we ended up at 7-6, the Garces Rams came out pretty much dominating in their first drive. However, they missed the PAT. Statler gets a scramble play a couple of drives later and hits his guy for about a 65-yard touchdown, but they make their PAT, so here we are at 7-6. But the Titans are threatening again in this shotgun double set. And Statler has time again, and he has a man. And that's caught at the 6-yard line in between double coverage, Coach.
Again, the Titan receivers bunch up like that so that they can cross the field. And that is a freshman that caught that ball right there, I believe. Kobe Watson. That's a big-time freshman.
Absolutely.
Saw him before the game, and he looks like he's about 6'2" as well.
Yeah, he had a fantastic game a few weeks back when I was here covering these guys. But right now they're threatening, and you got Statler. He's clicking on all cylinders, and that should be a flag, and it is, as those DBs are starting to play a little nervous.
Yeah, that's an easy call for that back judge to make on that one. That'll move the Titans half the distance to the goal line. And we've seen now Frontier able to throw the ball pretty effectively, but in this red zone area, when the field gets condensed, you better be able to run it. So I'm anxious to see what Tyler Ferguson, the Frontier offensive coordinator, has got up his sleeve here.
Right, Coach, because we haven't seen much run game other than those stretch plays and jet sweeps.
Now, we said it was an easy call, but they're
wow.
on the offense.
Okay. Very rare to see that. They never called those in my days of playing defensive back.
We do not have the luxury of replay up here, but if you're going to watch it on tape delay, rewind that and see what happened.
So that will back them up, and does that benefit Statler and his offense?
You know, it certainly gives them more space to work with. 1st and goal from the 22, though, isn't exactly what I'd call ideal.
Now we see our first I formation of the game. And they go ISO right through the 8. Nice.
Effective play on 1st down.
So that is the end of the first quarter. Frontier Titans up 7. Garces Rams with 6. We have an injured Titan on the field. We'll try to get you that number, but we will take a break and be back with more Kern High Network football brought to you by Valley Strong Credit Union.
We all come from different backgrounds and practice different traditions, but we belong to one humanity. At Valley Strong Credit Union, we care deeply about the communities where we live and serve. That's why over the past 80 years, we've donated and invested millions of dollars into various partnerships, nonprofits, and businesses in Kern County. And as we continue to grow, we remain rooted here in our community. Valley Strong. Grow your possibilities.
All right, we are back, and we are jamming here with the Frontier Titan band. Always love it.
Doug Kelly's got it going on down there.
Yes, he does. I always find myself dancing, Coach, when I come over here. Shotgun pro set for Statler and the Titans. Oh, and he has a man, and that's going to be caught. Touchdown, Titans.
So that's the Titans offense right there. What they want, they brought both backs in to help with pass protection, left another guy in. They had one-on-ones outside, and they got big receivers that get those 50-50 balls really well.
And, Coach, you made a great point because before that penalty, they don't have room to throw that fade. You get the penalty that backs them up. They run the ISO, get about 6 yards, but they still have room to throw that fade. And that was about as perfect as it could be.
Oh, beautiful throw there by Malachi. And you see, this Frontier offense fits the personnel that they have perfectly. Tyler Ferguson's done a really good job of implementing a brand new system to them, and they've really taken off with it.
Oh, yeah, got to love the former Penn State QB now calling shots here on the Northwest. Shout out to the Penn State DB by the name of Joey Porter Jr. My nephew's balling out.
He's fun to watch play.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, the what I get most out of seeing kids that we watch play here in the Golden Empire Youth Football League over 10 years ago was the fact that not only are they great athletes, they're great kids. Great students, great people.
My wife had Joshua Porter in her classroom in kindergarten. He's playing, I believe, at Yale or one of the Ivy League schools.
Oh, Jacob. Yeah, he's at Temple.
Temple, okay.
Yeah, because he went to Yale. They end up having some issues. They had to pull a scholarship, and he was like, "Well, I can wait and still go here, or I can make another decision." And he chose the Temple Owls. And he hasn't had an opportunity to show what he has, but boy, look out! He's gonna do some amazing things as well.
Thank you for the update there. All right, well, Frontier jumps out early in the second quarter with a touchdown and a critical extra point. Anxious to see how the Garces Rams respond.
Yeah, because that was a huge drive by the Titans, Coach.
High kick.
Wow, and they go fair catch there, and I don't know about that decision, Coach. You got 15 yards of room from the 20-yard line, but that looks like a situation where he's probably told, if you catch it, fair catch it because I don't want you returning it.
Well, that's one of those things. He backed up to catch that ball, though, and it's kind of like your second baseman and your right fielder. The right fielder should call him off because you want the guy coming in catching that ball because he'll have a head of steam behind him to get some more yards. So big win by the Frontier kickoff team to get the ball inside I guess it's right at the 21-yard line, but no return.
Yeah, you make a great point with that, Coach, because sometimes up backs are taught, don't take any steps back. You move forward because they're coming rushing forward to catch the ball. And in a game like this, you need every one of those yards. He could have had about 10 more yards. And the Frontier Titans defense is playing big time inside.
I think they were really challenged after giving up a whole bunch of the yards to Ridgeview and their Zamir Hall counterplay that they needed to pick things up, and they certainly have this week, especially against the run.
Speaking of Zamir Hall, how impressive has he been? Ridgeview starts off tough, not doing very well from a record standpoint, and everybody's down on him, and then he has a game of his lifetime.
Former Garces Ram. It transferred there from Garces.
So they go speed option again, and that's the best that the option has looked in about 15 minutes of play, Coach.
Yeah, and if they can get that edge there, they'll take it. Going to bring up third and short here.
Another crucial third down opportunity for this defense. And for offense of the Rams, you definitely need this because Frontier has been clicking on all cylinders.
Now left tackle for Garces, Davis May, headed to Sac State. Watch for him to go left.
Oh, high snap, and that's exactly where they go, Coach. And that was very close, but it looks like they're going to have enough yards.
Yeah, anytime you got a D1 guy there on the O-line in short yardage situations, you kind of tend to lean that direction.
Oh, yeah, give him his money.
And Sac State is really, really good this year. I think they're number 3 in the nation in the FBS level.
Yeah, I ended up signing with San Jose State, but the week prior to that trip, I went to Sac State. Amazing program. They were this close to getting me. And I had family in Sacramento at the time, but I was just one of those players that wanted to play at a bigger level in front of a bigger audience. But I definitely had a lot of love for how they treated me on that trip with the Hornets. So we have a timeout. We'll stay here, and it gives us time to thank our sponsors at the Valley Strong Credit Union again. Every week as an administrator, coach, one of my duties, I have to go get allowance for my residents. First stop, I have to go through the drive-through. They treat me like royalty. I don't even have to pull my ID out anymore. They're breaking my allowance down, keeping me from having to go to 3 other places. Thank you to the Valley Strong Credit Union staff. You make my life heaven on Fridays.
What's nice is a lot of the high schools, we have little branch offices in the high schools, and that makes life a whole lot easier. I'm hoping that Del Oro will get one. I know I've had one when I was here at Frontier and at Ridgeview, and super handy. They do a great job training kids to do that service.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, Coach, because to see the educational component that goes into that prepares students for a life in finance, and my wife is a 17-year. Oh, nearly picked off as they tried to go with that quick slant. Stop talking about banking, Ken, and get back to the game, because that was almost a big one.
It was almost a big one both directions, because if he could have got the ball to the receiver, he was off to the races, but the linebacker right there into his breadbasket.
Absolutely. Great drop by that middle linebacker, and you being a former linebacker, Coach, you know how important it is to get underneath that curl or to that slant. Amazing job, because that was almost 6 to the house. 2nd and 10. Oh, they go with the pump and go, but great discipline by the corner, and that's exactly why you get a sack, and that's a covered sack by the truest definition as they try to go with the hitch and go, and you see that defensive back over there giving himself kudos for the discipline. And I like it.
Yeah, we've really seen this Frontier defense respond very well. Coaches have made some good adjustments over there. Coach Bandy is the defensive coordinator for him, with a lot of input from Kenny Haslip, who's coaching the defensive backs. Matt Bushnell back there sending in some signals. So veteran coaching staff at Frontier making some very solid adjustments.
Yeah, Gerard Vauchois, that was just an amazing heads-up discipline play to not bite on the fake and have disciplined eyes. But now you got the Rams taking the shot, and they have a man, but that's covered, nowhere to go, and that's going to be punt team for the Rams. And, you're kicking to a dangerous Devin Cochran. He's been breaking tackles left and right. If he can get an opportunity to catch this punt, look out.
And again, snap-wise, the first snap looked pretty solid on punt. The second snap kind of looped back there. So see if Frontier decides to go after it a little bit here, or if they lay back and play for the return.
And that's a nice snap, nice pressure. And Cochran's going to fair catch that, and that's going to be 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line by the Titans. Great defense by the Titans. We didn't talk much about them in pregame. And that's one of the things that me and you were coached with. Teams always want to talk offense, right? But that defense has came out to say, hey, we're here to establish ourselves as the big dog in town against who everybody assumed will be the big dog. And they're doing a pretty fair job through this first half.
Yeah, because the Frontier Titans has been the question mark for them. We talked about both the games they lost. They scored 40 points and lost 2 games.
Stadler going quick out to the opposite side, and that was a nice design as you motion away from that. And that's going to be a 7-yard pickup, bring us 2nd and 3 with 9:01 to play on this Kern High Network broadcast.
I was talking with Chris Bandy before the game, and he was talking about how Malachi really got into this offense about 2 weeks before the first game. Through 7-on-7, he was struggling a little bit. Once he got grips on how it all worked, he's been unstoppable.
Yes, he has. I mean, the drawback of high school football is that you don't get to see a lot of these guys until you're there. So there's times where we come and you don't know what to expect, and that's how it was at the beginning of the year. But now they're going with the quick quarterback keeper, and that's going to be first down for Statler.
Nice job by both squads. Frontier going quick tempo quarterback sneak, but Garces was prepared. Frontier barely got it, but barely is enough.
Yeah, and that was a huge third down, Coach, because, it's a situation where really in this moment you just want to chew up clock and keep that offense off the field.
And Frontier has been controlling the time of possession since about halfway through the first quarter.
And they're going back in that I. Twins left. They're going ISO right, and that's a nice gain for about 5 yards. And something that we wanted to see if they can do is traditional power run game inside the tackles.
Well, we talked about some of the lack of size that Garces has. And one of the ways you combat that is by going right at it. Don't let those little suckers slip by you. Garces has everybody tight to the line of scrimmage. Safety's at 6 yards.
Uh-oh, and that's Appleton. And I'm telling you, if he gets a step, whoa, one tackle away. Oh, and that's Cochran. Actually on the outside. One of the things that confuses me is that they have several guys on the edge that look exactly alike with the same speed.
They're clones of each other. They block well. They go up and get the ball well, and that's classic Frontier football right there. Get it out wide where you got a stud guy blocking for another stud guy, and let the wheels do the work after that.
I love the ball placement as well because he's throwing the one-step hitch, but he's throwing it up the field so his guy is going in that direction. Just great play design. 1st and 10 Titans.
Yeah, and you can't do that if you have a quarterback that's inaccurate.
So we have an illegal shift.
Illegal shift, or did they? Oh, they called it on the Titans. Okay. Saw Garces guy flinch over there, and I thought that's what it was called on.
Yeah, it was very close, Coach. It seems like they both moved at the same time as well. Usually they'll give the offense the benefit of the doubt if you get any kind of movement from the defensive line, but good break for the Rams, and that may be what they need to try to get Frontier off schedule because they've been clicking. Now they're behind the chains, 1st and 15. Empty set for Malachi Statler. Oh, and he has the wheel route, and he has a step, and that's going to be another touchdown. And I hate to say I told you so, but Statler is the business.
Boy, he's got nice touch on the football. And Garces defender, one of their better defenders, David Smith, got all turned around with that wheel route. And right on the money. Frontier opens up with a 14-point lead, an extra point to come. Well, Garces is going to need to respond. They looked great that first drive and have really struggled offensively since. So one of the things Coach Gola was talking about is just they're trying to figure out who they are right now. And about time for that offense to step up and find something that's going to work for it consistently.
Yeah, because one of the things that we saw in the first drive, Coach, we saw soft play from the corners for Frontier led to an advantage for Garces. Since that adjustment has been made, there hasn't been a lot of success on the offensive end for the Rams.
Yeah, Frontier playing too high, cover 2 there. Sometimes you can run at that, but Garces has not been able to get a consistent running game going yet tonight. But I think they're going to have to. With those 2 high safeties, that helps, basically double team any deep ball that Garces is going to throw. They've taken away the short one, but, sometimes you can get a 5-man box in there, and you want to attack that if you got that as a Garces Ram. But, again, have yet to be able to really sustain a consistent drive since that first one.
Yeah, it's been tough, and now we have a 21-6 game for Frontier. I'm sending over our scores to our guys. I'm going to see if we can get some other scores and talk about some of the contests happening around town. One of the interesting matchups, you got Independence at BHS. It's BHS's homecoming, but Independence has been getting better and better. They had a tough loss to Highland, but with Prince at the quarterback, he's making some things happen.
Yeah, he's a difference maker there at quarterback, and those guys are money when you got guys like that can extend plays.
Oh, yeah, he's a tough kid. He's been through a lot, lost his dad last year. Drillers definitely have had an interesting year, starting off tough and playing a tough BCHS team a couple of weeks ago and getting beat, looking to try to get back in the rhythm themselves. But right now the Rams are trying to get back in rhythm, and they'll have some good field position out at the 30-plus yard line. And with 6:06 to play, now we have a flag on the play, but Coach, 6:06 to play, 21-6. What do you do from a Garces standpoint to try to change the rhythm?
Well, you got to be able to run the ball, I think, with the coverage in the front that Frontier is playing. And Frontier is a team that's been giving up some yards on the ground. But I think you got to go right at them. And, you got a Division I left tackle over there. I think I'd pound the ball a little bit left and just really see what David Smith can do running it. He comes into the game averaging 8.6 a carry. Might start feeding him the ball, hoping I can get a big one.
Yeah, got to commit to something. Oh, and that's a horrible pitch relation, and they got lucky there. And that was one of the things that in the past we saw Hunt, some driller teams with their option when Gola had it, is sometimes the quarterback running back pitch relation is not what it needs to be, and that creates turnovers. Sometimes people think running the ball can be an easy situation, but when you're pitching the ball in the option football, it's just as dangerous as the passing game sometimes.
Especially when you're only maybe a yard from him. I mean, at the minimum, I think you'd want to be 3-3.
Yeah, that was about half a yard, Coach, right?
Yeah, it was right in his breadbasket before he could blink.
And they go better pitch relation there, but just tough running and still on his feet. And that's exactly what you alluded to, Coach. Sometimes you just got to say, hey, guys, we need toughness right now and execute from a strength standpoint.
Yeah. And I know I haven't watched film of these two teams go at it, but I am surprised a little bit that everything Garces is trying is perimeter and not as much going at the Titans. But I can guarantee you Gola has watched 100 times more film than I have. So
I agree, Coach.
I'm not going to question him because that guy is a heck of a coach.
Oh, yeah, he's a film rat. But right now, this defensive line of the Titans is trying to be the difference maker, and it's a 3rd and 3. And the Rams do a great job of doing exactly what you said they need to do, Coach. Go off that left tackle. Go where your money is. And they get the first down, and that's a very important first down because you don't want to kick a ball back to a Malachi Stadler who's flashing hot right now.
Yeah, you got a 305-pound tackle over there. Put that big, beefy guy to work. Now, you got some off coverage here. Go right back to that hitch. There. Little better throw there. You pick up 5.
Yeah, and that's a tough throw there based on the coverage.
They had the same thing down at the bottom here. I think if they continue giving, every time they give you that, though, I would throw that hitch. And just, like I said, a better throw gets you 5 or 6 yards instead of 2.
Yeah, and that was the difference between Malachi's throw because he's throwing it upfield. And that's a nice, tough run by Smith inside.
There we go, right between the tackles. Maybe they're listening to us.
they got a cell phone over there somewhere with Kern High Network tuned in. Since I don't see Trevor Horn anywhere out here
Trevor
with his crew.
Yeah, he's got a wealth of information. I hit him up, too, on these Garces Rams, and he was really helpful.
Oh, yeah. I had an amazing time working with Trevor Horn when I was hosting my Renegade Report out of the Bakersfield, Californian office. Tough running and a nice broken tackle by Smith, and now we're starting to see some of that strength you talked about.
Well, we're talking about a kid there that he's not real heavy. Don't have his weight listed here, but he squats 500 pounds.
Wow.
So, yeah, you got a 500-pound squatter in there. He's not going down with an arm tackle.
Oh, my goodness, man. That just made my hamstrings hurt by you just saying 500 pounds, Coach. Wow.
Yeah, these guys have put the work in the weight room. I like this matchup down low.
And they're looking like they're going after a matchup, and they have a man. Oh, and that's a huge hit, and a great job not hitting them too hard because it would have been defenseless. And I think that's the reason you might have dropped it, a little alligator arm, seeing that DB coming from the opposite side.
A little bit. If that ball could have been thrown a half second earlier, I think would have been a better chance for completion. But great time to throw the ball there on second and short. Now we're looking at 3rd and 2. Frontier takes a timeout.
Yeah, so we have a timeout. We'll take a timeout here with 2:45 left to play in the first half. Kenny Calvin and Rich Cornford and Dr. Julian Wilson on Kern High Network Football. All right, and we're back. 2:45 left to play in this first half. Got a message from the boss, Stan Green, and he said, quit being so nice to me, shouting me out. Hey, Coach, we just calling it how we see it, man. 3rd and short for the Rams. Oh, when we got movement, and that's going to be a false start. Rams, and that's a crucial penalty with 3rd and 1 when you needed it.
Oh, that is a killer. Yeah, take it back to 3rd and 7 now, which definitely changes your play calling. They've been getting better at pounding the rock, and they still could here in this situation. I'm thinking if I'm Garces, RPO with something inside, but if they give me that hitch, I'm taking it. Looks like the receivers are up pressing here, so that's taken away.
Speed option. Oh, and pressure, and that's going to be a sack. Or, no, it's going to be incomplete. And that's a crucial penalty.
Boy, Garces really looked like they had something going on that drive until that penalty on 3rd and short. And then, going that option pass, going for the home run ball there, but going left and then having to flip his hips. Had a little pressure in his face there and couldn't get the feet set and get a decent ball up.
Yeah, this Frontier defensive line is playing above potential and being a difference maker, and now they're creating another opportunity for their offense with 2:39 to play. It's going to be 1st and 10 Titans from inside the 20.
And I would expect the Titans to come out and continue to be pretty aggressive. They've got matchups there with their receivers versus these corners where it just looks like that size is making a difference to them.
Oh, yeah, they've been taking advantage of the size. We see some big catches at the highest point as well, to where DBs just are nowhere in the vicinity of the catch to try to fight through the wrist based on the size of the receiver and ball placement by Statler. And one thing I've seen from Statler in this offense in the past is that they don't take series off. This is a true 2-minute offense opportunity for them from the 18-yard line.
Well, this offense is built for this situation.
In the way I'm looking at this defense, there's no free safety, which can end up being an issue for the secondary of the Rams because you already have matchup problems on the outside. You may need to deepen up that safety to kind of try to minimize what's happening downfield. 2nd and 9.
Yeah, you just look at the size of, at least 3 of the 4 Frontier receivers, and they're huge.
And that's a nice pass on the out, and that's going to be 1st down yardage. And that's Kobe Watson, the freshman. I mean, when you got freshmen like this out here paying dividends, Coach, why stop going to them?
And the heads-up play by him to stretch the ball out for an extra yard while going out of bounds, stopping the clock. That's a really smart play for a freshman to make. And again, the timing that you see between quarterback and receiver is really fantastic.
Absolutely, Coach, because he's turning and throwing that before the receivers even turning around and looking, and that's pro-style offense that we see.
Joe Montana to Jerry Rice stuff right there.
First and 10. Rams looking like they're in man coverage. And now they slide that safety deep to provide some help over this twin set. As the Titans go inside run, and that's a huge run and a broken tackle across the 50-yard line. Wow. Sammy Marquez on the carry, the junior.
Well, this Titan offense showing that it's very balanced, that they can run the ball too. And if all you're going to think about is defending pass, they're going to get you up the gut.
Right, especially with these wide splits. Young defenders. 9 times out of 10, when you get a split this close to the sideline, usually it's done just to take you outside of the box. Let's see how true this is as these Twins receivers are stacked here. And exactly what we thought. They go with the run, but we do have a timeout, and that's an opportunistic timeout for the Rams with 1:38 to play. We'll stay here. Gives us time to thank our staff over at the Kern High School District. Definitely a special group all week. I've been chatting back and forth with our secretary, Deanna Ribbons. She handles all of our business, processes all of our invoices. I can be a headache sometimes, emailing back and forth. And she's like, Kenny, don't worry about it. Call me when you need to. Love our staff. Amazing team that we have at Kern High School District and a lot of working pieces. But I appreciate you, Miss Ribbons.
Yeah, they do a great job taking care of us. You know, you made the comment earlier about those wide splits. The primary thing it does for you is it makes the defense declare, is your strong safety a run player or a pass player? And if he's a run player, well, then you throw it out there. If you have a quarterback with a strong enough arm. It doesn't work if you don't have an accurate quarterback. Clearly the Titans have a quarterback like that with Malachi, and they're really able to put that defense in a dilemma on are you pass defender or run defender, and whatever you are, we're going to do the opposite to you.
And I'm glad you said that, Coach, because that's the chess match of formations, just to see what you can get, a reaction out of a defense based on formation. And they come right back out in that wide split twin set, and as you see, they're walking that strong safety out, which leaves lanes open inside for the run. Oh, and he gets pressure, and he throws it away. Great job by Garces bringing some pressure.
Yeah, that's one of the times we've seen the frontier protection break down. And that's going to be critical for Garces. They've got to be able to get pressure when they send 4, because if you send much more than that, you don't have as many guys to cover these big receivers.
Yeah, and these receivers already throughout this long first half, what it feels like, have made plays, about 4 or 5 different guys making plays. Pistol spread formation. Oh, now we got a flea flicker. And he has a man, and it's caught. And that's going to be near a touchdown all the way to the 1. But how about the play design as they went with the power? They go power to the reverse man, back to the quarterback, and then he throws a dart to the 6-yard line down at the 2. Amazing design.
Well, Garces had tremendous penetration there, and it looked like it was going to be a turnover.
Definitely.
But the Frontier Titans were able to make it work. And, again, another beautiful ball thrown over there, and a 50-50 ball that was caught by the Titans.
Another 50-50 ball caught at the highest point, Coach. We just talked about that. But like you said, great pressure in the backfield. That was almost a disaster.
Game of inches.
Tough 1-yard run inside, and that's going to be stopped just inside the yard line with 51 seconds. And you can tell the Titans are in too much of a rush.
They've got a timeout left, so they're still able, if they get right on the line, I'd expect probably the same call. Garces takes a timeout.
Oh, and it looks like Garces actually might have had that defended very well, but they called a timeout. And with 37 seconds left, we got a Titan team looking to shock the city. So let's see if we got some other scores. Special thanks to our sponsors at the Valley Strong Credit Union. We already talked about how fantastic the staff is, but we definitely appreciate them allowing us to be part of their process. We want to thank our Frontier Titan High School staff for hosting us tonight. Principal Vicki Thompson, AP of Instruction Brian Easter, AP of Administration Jennifer Matter, Athletics Director Mike Gibson, and Activities Director, sister-in-law Lynette Cornford.
The guy keeping the clock right now is my nephew here. Got my niece taking tickets at the gate.
Family affair. So we got a quarterback sneak, and it looks like he might not have got in, but he does.
They were yelling that the ball was out.
Wow, so they called it a touchdown. Looks like the touchdown call is going to stand. Even though you have controversy, you got Garces celebrating, but you got two officials that have raised up their hands saying touchdown. And now we have a conference going where we had two officials screaming touchdown. Wow, and touchback. Now they're saying he lost it, and it's a touchback, so huge victory.
Going to have to take the points off the board over there.
Wow.
That is a huge play right before the end of the half.
That's a monster play that could be a difference maker as we come out in the second half. What I'm blown away about is you had two officials signal touchdown, and you had two other officials back there having their own meeting in the end zone, but they did have the better view from the right-hand side. And great to see the officials come together to make the right decision.
Right. I'm glad
if that was the right decision.
And just didn't stick with the original one.
Yes.
Because they got I'm thinking they got the call right.
Yeah, you didn't see a lot of arguing from the Frontier Titans, and it definitely was a hold on the outside as Smith gets the carry. But that's the one thing I was looking for, Coach, to see the reaction of the players. You didn't see a bunch of Frontier Titan players too upset.
Right.
It was kind of like this happened. And so great opportunity for the Rams. Huge defensive stop inside the goal line. That was big time.
All right, so it would shock me now if Garces did anything too risky with this football. After that play gets called back, 22 seconds. Again, I don't think they have much of a kicking game due to the deep snapper situation on their field goals. So I'm guessing that they're just going to probably grind it, if not take a knee.
I agree, Coach, because if you pass it a few times with 22 seconds left and you end up either putting yourself in a position for a turnover or having to punt the ball back based on the fact that you're stopping the clock.
You see Frontier playing a prevent defense.
Trips open set, and they go to the ground like you said, Coach, and that more than likely is going to be the last play of the half. And the Titans up 21-6. They blew a golden opportunity. But they'll go to the half with the lead up 21-6. We'll take a break and come back with third quarter action on Kern High Network Football with Kenny Calvin, Rich Cornford, and
We all come from different backgrounds and practice different traditions, but we belong to one humanity. At Valley Strong Credit Union, we care deeply about the communities where we live and serve. That's why over the past 80 years, we've donated and invested millions of dollars into various partnerships, nonprofits, and businesses in Kern County. And as we continue to grow, we remain rooted here in our community. Valley Strong. Grow your possibilities. We all come from different backgrounds and practice different traditions, but we belong to one humanity. At Valley Strong Credit Union, we care deeply about the communities where we live and serve. That's why over the past 80 years, we've donated and invested millions of dollars into various partnerships, nonprofits, and businesses in Kern County. And as we continue to grow, we remain rooted here in our community. Valley Strong. Grow your possibilities.
Check, check, check. Testing, testing. Can you hear me now? I'm good. Okay.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and we came back early because we wanted to give you some of the best band in the business, but we also have one of the best voices in the business in Titan Tom joining us up from the press box. Good to see you, big bro. How you doing?
Hey, great. It's great to be here with you guys, and obviously, you know, what a fun night. My home crowd here, my home team, and, of course, two of my favorite guys. My buddy Rich Cornford, of course, was the coach of my son Blake, who's now in Washington, D.C., going to work at the White House in Homeland Security. And,
beautiful.
And, of course, Kenny, you and I have been partners for a number of years now, doing broadcasts together. And what a great night for a great game. Perfect weather. It's really beautiful. We did get started a little bit late, which wasn't something that I would have preferred. I like calling them a little earlier than this. But so far, this game hasn't disappointed. Garces came out and smashed us in the mouth real early. And then Frontier made nice adjustment on defense, was able to kind of shut him down a little bit, obviously. And then Frontier kind of, you know, stepped it up a little bit on offense. Didn't do so much the first time that they had the ball, but then adjusted and made some plays. Rich, what do you think?
Well, you see the strength of this Frontier team is their quarterback play, their wide receiver play, and the offense that they're running under Tyler Ferguson's leadership is honed right in perfectly with that. But I do have to say, I like your shirt, Tom. Tom Myers Chain Gang, it says on there.
Sir.
Do you remember when I got this?
That's how he started here.
In 2009, I was running the chain crew on the other side, the year that you had Deshante Weber.
Yeah, we played the championship that year.
That was a
nice
quality squad of 10 guys
Matt
that actually
Darr,
got
Will Harvey,
Matt Darr.
Ian Driscoll.
What a fantastic squad of football players. An all-star team on your squad.
And an
was
all-star
insane.
chain crew led by Tom Myers.
Yeah, and, of course, Larry Kinzel and my brother Doug Myers. That's right. And they gave us 2 hot dogs and a Coke for payment at halftime every single game that we did. So that was the best way to have it. But Frontier doing a great job so far out the gate. Offense looking really good. Couple of, you know, guys that we need to talk about, of course, you know, one of my favorite guys, Malachi Statler. Kenny, what do you think about him?
You know, I was telling Coach Cornford that I've had the luxury of covering you guys for now my 3rd time. And one of the disadvantages of high school football is that we don't get to see a lot of what's happening until you get there. So as I came in and I see Malachi perform the first time, I'm like, where did this kid come from? Because this kid looks like he's been throwing the ball since he was 2 years old. And that kind of decision-making has turned into some great success. One of the things I talked to Coach Cornford about as well is the fact that even though Frontier has 2 losses, it's a combined 3 points on those 2 losses. And most of that is based on the fact that Statler is doing a great job not forcing things. It's balanced offense. You guys got weapons all over the place. We joked about how similar Cochran and Appleton looked, you know, just from their speed perspective. You can't even tell who's who based on so many guys making plays, and that's what I love about watching the Frontier offense that's continuing to find themselves and continuing to exceed expectations. You know, I follow Malachi on Instagram. That's one of the things I like to do. I like to engage with the guys and let them know, hey, you guys got support, and we're watching you. And he's been a show, you know, nonstop show. You know, it's definitely you have a Garces team that came out tough, playing great football from that first drive, but Malachi's presence alone just stabilized the Frontier team, and then you saw the level of the defense pick up, and things just started clicking, and then all of a sudden nothing was happening for the Rams. And I think it all starts with the leadership of Statler, who's been my player of the game twice.
Right, and Statler's getting a lot of help tonight. I mean, for obvious reasons. And I'm going to look off the sheet here just real quick to make sure I don't miss anybody. But he's got Mason Tappy at receiver. Devin Cochran's had a banner evening, and then he's got a couple of young freshmen that he's going to in Kobe Watson and Malcolm Watkins. Those 2 freshmen are actually really doing a great job of catching the ball. You've seen Kobe Watson catch a couple of them. And then Malcolm Watkins actually switches to the other side of the field and runs defense as a cornerback and does good in coverage over there. So he's getting a lot of help, and Frontier's really starting to show. You know, it took them a second to kind of get their stride, but then they took off. A little bit of a mistake there at the end of the first half. Otherwise, we'd be looking at a 28-6 lead right now as opposed to a 21-6. So, I mean, we're going to see. I'm really surprised that Garces showed up on the first set of downs and really marched down the field and punched Frontier in the mouth.
Yes, they did.
And then kind of went quiet after that once Frontier made the adjustment. Coach, what do you think attributes to that?
Well, I think Frontier was giving up a lot of room there in their defensive backfield, especially their corners were playing off. They adjusted into more of a cover two with the corners pressed up, took away those hitches, which have been killing them. Garces responded by trying to run a little bit of option, and they've seen some success, but they've also seen some bad decisions with making the pitch there. And then, they've taken away the main part of the Garces passing game. So Garces has just been really inconsistent. Well, on the other side of things, with Malachi, he came into this game completing 66% of his passes, and you questioned, well, maybe the level of competition, this or that, but 66% of your passes completed at the high school level is pretty darn impressive, and he's got to be pretty well near that now, and thrown for probably another 150 to 200 in the first half.
We talked about how special his ball placement has been, but one of the things that I love acknowledging is the fact that this coaching staff is just catering to the strengths of his personnel. Like, you got guys all over the place making plays, and they're getting them involved. I love balance, and that's what I've seen from Frontier, and I think that's been the biggest thing that's haunting the Garces Rams, that they don't know who to key on. You can't key on anyone.
Well, and that that defensive line is really starting to get at him. Number 77, Travis Perry, he's been blowing up all night long, and then they mix in with Jaco Hannison, who is about 280 pounds and blocks up the middle. And then, of course, we throw a couple of guys around the end. And then, number 8, Landon Heredia, is doing a fantastic job in trying to contain. Right now, the work is really happening on the defensive side of the ball with Frontier, and they just need to kind of contain the ends and seal those ends. That way, keep it inside, let the linebackers do the cleanup, and that's kind of what it's for. So, anyway, hey, but it's been great being up here, you guys, for halftime, and I really appreciate you having me on. I'm going to go back to announcing the game. It's great to see Dr. Julian Wilson, my guy here on camera, managing that tonight. And, of course, he and I worked a Bakersfield College volleyball game together just the other day. I really enjoy it, and thanks again for having me on. Current High Network, just one of the best places that I've started to learn how to do broadcast, and really enjoyed that. Vance Palmer, our buddy, was here earlier. I don't know if he's still over there hanging around on the sidelines with Garces, but I did get to see him out in midfield taking pictures earlier on. So thanks to everybody. I hope everyone enjoys the second half.
Love you, big bro.
Okay,
Take
man.
care.
All right, we'll see you guys.
See you, Tom.
So we're getting ready for second half action. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with this third quarter. Garces looking to capitalize on a great defensive stance. And the Frontier Titans just continuing to move the chains and do work with Malachi Stadler leading the way. We'll be back.
We all come from different backgrounds and practice different traditions, but we belong to one humanity. At Valley Strong Credit Union, we care deeply about the communities where we live and serve. That's why over the past 80 years, we've donated and invested millions of dollars into various partnerships, nonprofits, and businesses in Kern County. And as we continue to grow, we remain rooted here in our community. Valley Strong. Grow your possibilities.
And we are back. Third quarter action. Frontier Titans have been controlling the scene, but you got Garces. And one thing I know about a Coach Gola halftime locker room, he knows how to get guys fired up. He knows how to get guys to be accountable. So expect a higher level of output from the Rams in the second half.
Well, one thing Paul does a really good job of is he's got this ability to manufacture momentum. When you're down and you're being challenged, well, that's when you find out your true character. And that play right at the goal line, typifies that, and that's something that they can really build on here in the second half.
I agree, Coach. We've seen it time and time again, and right now we got a sky kick, and that's a good fair catch there. And it'll be great field position from the 37-yard line for the Rams.
So, what will the Rams do this half? They're going to lean on their passing game. They're going to try to run the ball, pound it. I'm anxious to see what adjustments they made, because we saw after that first drive, we saw Frontier's defense make a great adjustment. Now, what's the counter move?
One thing I haven't seen from the Rams is them trying to stretch the field to loosen up the coverage in the secondary a bit. Maybe that's something they try to do to loosen up the running game. 1st and 10 for the Rams. Press coverage at the bottom, and they're going right to the air, but great pursuit by the Titans as they cover that quick out route, and that's going to be a gain of about a yard. And like we said, Coach, they come out trying to take advantage of matchups on the edge, but just great job by this Frontier defense.
Yeah, the Titans initially showed some pretty loose coverage. Then they tightened it up and showed a lot of pressure coming. Garces responded by trying to hit a quick out route, but successfully defended by the Titans.
Speed option for the Rams, and now they got room. And that's a huge hit after a huge hurdle, but that's some nice success on the speed option left.
Yeah, great read by Jordan Gallegos, the quarterback there, to keep that ball and run it inside. Put him in a 3rd and short situation here, which is what this offense needs. This situation so far, we've seen Garces be heavily left-handed behind their big offensive tackle over there, Davis May.
3rd and short. And they go toss sweep, and they're going to get that. Ooh, nice tackle to just keep it at a 2-yard gain.
Boy, we've seen some really good tackling on both sides of the ball tonight. Testament to good coaching.
Real quick update, Coach Cornford. Not a local one, but a big one. Modern Day beat Bosco 17-7. New number 1 team in the nation. As the number 1 team in the nation, Bosco goes down.
Probably about 58 Division I football players in that game. A lot of option from Garces.
Nice move. Great job by Smith. Or no, they say Harrison.
Ian Harrison on the carry there.
So they go speed option, and you finally get a pitch. Just a great individual move, as it was nice pursuit. And he cuts it back up, sticks it 1 foot in the ground, and turns nothing into something. It's going to be 2nd and 5. Trips open set for the Rams. Oh, and they go quick pitch opposite, and that's a nice design. And just like they started the game, that momentum that you talked about, Coach, we're seeing it.
Well, that was a heck of a nice design, because I completely bit the fake and was watching what I thought the ball going to the left, and all of a sudden I see the action go to the right. So I'm not sure exactly what they did, but it must have been pretty darn good.
Yeah, definitely great design by Coach Golan. He has his guys playing with some great momentum.
You know, this is similar to how they started the game. A nice, consistent, well-thought-out drive. So good adjustments here by Paul Gola and staff to start the 3rd quarter.
And now you see pressure coming for the Titans, and this might be a touchdown across the 10. And that is definitely going to be a touchdown for the Rams. And they start off the second half the same way they started the game.
You know, Frontier is a team that does like to send pressure. But honestly, option football is made for that type of defense. And I think the more pressure Frontier shows, the better it is for the Garces Rams, because you have no linebacker pursuit when those guys are coming inside. So you simply option off the end, and there's nobody to take the pitch back.
Yeah, now it looks like they're going for 2 after the Smith touchdown, Coach, because we know that they've had issues with the snap. And they do need to try to get that point back that they lost from the missed PAT earlier. So this is a huge 2-point conversion opportunity to try to make it a 1-score game instead of 2.
So if I were a gambling man, I would guess that they'll run some kind of an option here, thinking that Frontier will probably try to send the heat again.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's going to be a RPO-style run with this. And there they go, speed option. And quarterback's going to keep it, and he's going to be in for the conversion. So now the Rams only trailing a touchdown after the botched touchdown at the end of the 3rd or the end of the 2nd. We got a game, ladies and gentlemen.
Show me the money.
Coach, you talked about the importance. Hey, sometimes you just got to go where the money is. They go right off that left tackle. And that was an easy walk in for Gallegos.
Well, again, if you're really proficient at the option and you trust your quarterback to make the right reads, it's a very tough defense to defend, or tough offense for the defense to defend. So huge drive there to open the second half for the Garces Rams.
And, Coach, one of the things we got to talk about, Frontier was leading big last week, I was told. I wasn't there, but I was told they had a nice surmountable lead, and it withered away in the second half a bit. Got to wonder if that's in the back of the mind of the Frontier offense as well, or the team as a whole.
One of the last things you want as a coach is for your players to think, uh-oh, here we go again. That kind of mindset really can destroy you quickly.
Oh, and great coverage. It's going to make it 1st and 10 from about the 35-yard line. And now pressure's back on the Titans to continue to have the success that they've had, because I don't know if you want to punt right back to an offense that looked as crispy as Garces did on that last drive.
Yeah, and, this is an offense, though, for Frontier that looked right on point. Other than that fumble on the goal line to end the half, they really controlled the last quarter and a half of that football game. They'd put up 21 consecutive points.
Absolutely. That's the one thing that we hadn't talked about. Those 21 points were unanswered points until that recent touchdown. Now you got Frontier coming out quick, and they weren't even set. I'm surprised that was not blown dead, Coach.
Right. The rule is that you have to be set for a complete second before you can snap the ball on any kind of a shift or coming up to the line.
Yeah, and you see Coach Gola over there going crazy, having a fit, because he saw exactly what I saw. That was not even a half a second.
Frontier right up on the ball. Not a ton of tempo, though, as far as snapping it quick. Looking at what the Garces defense is giving them.
Empty set. And Statler keeps it, and that's a nice decision. He's going to slide, making it a 3rd and short. He might have had the first down if he went ahead and kept going, but I think he's looking for long-term protection and feeling like his offensive line can get this half a yard, because if you don't get this yard, you're going to regret that slide, because you're going to have to punt the football from your 43-yard line if you do not.
One of the luxuries that Frontier has with these big receivers is they can bring these guys in tight and use them as blockers. They're not doing it now, spreading the field on 3rd and short. And they've got hitches down here.
And you got Statler back to pass, and he drops it. And that's exactly the point that I was making, Coach. You slide on a 2nd down, just assuming that you're going to get this easy first down the next play, and you put yourself in a position to have to punt the football back to one of the toughest teams in the town with some great momentum.
Well, and interesting that they weren't going for any kind of short, high-percentage throw. They were really looking to attack vertically there. And Malachi stepped up in the pocket, as we've seen him do before, but the ball just popped out. I didn't see anybody knock it out, but that really doomed that play.
Yeah, and it was just extremely confusing, Coach, based on the fact that you guys have ran the ball pretty well out of I formation. You need 2.5 yards, and you go empty set, 5-step drop.
Yeah. Now, we've seen this Frontier snap lollipop a little bit, too. Anxious to see Dallas Plater runs a lot of the special teams for Garces.
Nice punt. Oh, and it takes a nice high bounce, and that's going to be returned. And that's going to be stopped at the 33-yard line, but it's going to be important for Frontier to try to find some kind of success on the defensive end, because that's a drive that they're going to regret if they give up any kind of points.
And you can't ask for a better start than this if you're Garces. Just 5 minutes into the quarter, you've marched down for a touchdown, and you forced them to punt the ball right back to you.
Yeah, And then the nerves kick in, Coach. It's like what we talked about, the uh-oh moments.
And again, nobody's better at manufacturing momentum and then maintaining momentum than a coach goal, a coach team.
I agree. I've been on the sideline watching him very closely in the past, and he definitely knows how to motivate guys. Right now, it looks like he's motivating his quarterback as that's a great 9-yard run, and it's possibly 10. And I think he does have a first down.
And really what you would call a loaded option where they're using one back to lead block. The quarterback's able to cut inside that when he keeps it while also having a pitch man.
6:54 to play. Frontier had 21 unanswered points early, but then they gave up a touchdown in this second half, and now the Rams are marching. Toss sweep right. Great blocking on the right side. And they're 5 yards in the cloud of dust right now, Coach. That might be 7.
And a little bit more pep in their step. And, when David Smith has got quite a bit of pep in his step, and nice to see him back healthy and really maximizing his potential because he is one of the better backs in town.
Yeah, we've talked about the success of Frontier early. Right now, the momentum is clearly on the Garces Rams side.
Frontier not showing nearly as much pressure as they were earlier this quarter.
Oh, nice move inside, and he's across the 40, and it's a foot race across the 20. And he's caught at the 10-yard line, but like we said, here come the Rams.
So, great run there, right up the gut, and they've got Frontier a little discombobulated.
Now they're going tempo inside. And they finally get a stop. Defensive line has been somewhat non-existent in this second half. Stop on the play by Durkin.
Brady Durkin, son of Brett Durkin, time, Coach Bandy's best friend, coached with
Coach Durkin
at West High. Great-looking kid, just another one of those young Frontier Titans, just a sophomore. Heck of a baseball player, too.
Wide splits by the Rams. That tells you run inside. And they're going speed option. Oh, nice fake inside, and he's going to cross the goal line. Touchdown, Rams. Gallegos.
That was pretty special right there. That's good old-fashioned option football. Great quarterback play.
Wow.
I bet they go for 2 again.
You hear a stunned amount of silence from this Frontier Titan crowd because seconds before the halftime, they had an opportunity to go up 28-6. They fumbled the football, and me and Coach Comfort go, uh-oh, and exactly what we expected in the second half. The Rams coming out and playing some high-intensity offense and now looking to go for the lead as they line up for 2 points.
All right, they've been 80% option football here and been very successful for it, so that's, again, where I'm placing my bets.
Oh, and they got an opportunity, and that's going to be good as he stretches, and now we have a 1-point lead for the Rams. How you like them apples? Wow.
Well, we talked about adjustments at halftime, and clearly Garces coming out, heavy dose of option football, and we'd seen some of it in the first half, but just way more effective in the second half. I'm not sure. I think using that lead blocker on a lot of the options has helped, but they're just finding the matchups they want and making plays.
Yeah, and just the energy level, Coach. You talked about the energy level of the Garces Rams, the body language as well. Looks like they have a little more pep in their step than the Titans since they've come from the break. Sometimes when you have a young team full of young guys and they got a few touchdown lead, you're in the locker room a little bit more relaxed than you should be, and I think that may be the result early in this third quarter because this has been all Garces Rams.
Holy cow, yeah, you're exactly right. For a quarter and a half there, we saw it all Frontier Titans, but Garces looks just right on point here in the second half.
Yes, they do. And I think it all goes back to that slide by Statler. you have to be willing to sacrifice yourself. And now they go with the quick onside kick, and the ball comes out, and it looks like the Rams might be on it, and they are after the fumble. Wow.
So the Titans caught that ball in the air and then tried to run with it and just got a face mask on the football, I think, popped it out. Huge play for Garces as the momentum has gone 180 degrees.
And earlier we talked about up backs fair catching the ball, right? And how some coaches tell you, if you catch it, you don't run a step. Sometimes you get guys that get a little too excited. They're not used to carrying the football, and that's a perfect example of that. As an up back catches it, tries to run it, and he has the biggest turnover of the second half for the Titans.
Again, Garces is going right at him here up front and being successful going right at the Titans.
Wow, so talk about a true 180.
You know, thinking about that guy in the front row trying to run that ball back. When I used to play my dad in one-on-one basketball, he'd get on me, he'd be, think of the glory, trying to get me to shoot the ball outside. But I think that guy was thinking of the glory that he would receive if he had a great kickoff return and ended up turning it over.
Absolutely. My man, Ground Beef Washington, is listening to the game, Jason Johnson, and he said the same thing, because it's definitely some interesting moments going, but you got a guy that's trying to make a play and get his name in the paper as he sees that end zone, but he just might have cost his team a true opportunity if the Garces Rams could continue to move these chains.
Well, this is a really critical play right here. 3rd and 4, you got a chance if you're the Titans, if you could stuff this to force a punt. But if Garces picks up a first down, then this machine just keeps rolling.
3rd and 4. And this is 2-down territory, of course, for the Rams. Looked like you had a little roll there, but now you got – and you had a fumble, and the ball is still loose. And now the Titans come away with it, and the Rams give it back. Wow.
Unforced error right there. No contact, just mishandled the football after what would have been a big play.
Because it was very well blocked, Coach, going right off the power, off the tackle. You have about 4 yards, and he just dropped it. Tough blow for the Rams looking to take advantage. So the Titans, Malachi Statler.
I think if I'm the Titans, I'm going to try to be really, really aggressive.
Right, because we haven't seen them try to stretch the field in about probably an hour and a half. It's been a lot of things happening inside the mesh area. You got to take advantage of these one-on-one matchups outside. 1st and 10. Oh, and they go run. Nice job. 4-yard gain by Marquez.
So really on a drive, that first down, man, it's the hardest one to get. But if you can pick that up, things tend to roll well.
2nd and 6. Spread set, pro formation, and now the Titans think they have something going on the ground. And this is probably what they should have did on that 3rd and short.
Well, going right at that smaller Garces front. You know, those Garces guys, they're all standing up, but they know what gap they're going through. You don't know what gap. They're going to slant and twist and move all around, and it can cause some bigger guys some issues unless you were really fundamentally sound with your footwork. See if the Titans go right at them one more time to pick this one up. Yep.
And it looks like it, Coach, and it looks like they're going to have that first down. And if you're a fan, it's got to be driving you crazy, because if you did that last drive, you possibly still have the lead. Nonetheless, I guess experience is the best teacher, and you have another first down for the Titans.
Now, running the ball like that inside definitely opens up play action opportunities for you. Those linebackers are going to be flying up to play the run.
Look how deep this safety is,
They go
Coach.
empty set here.
Oh, and that's a huge tackle, but nice catch.
Yeah, good football play all around. Nice throw, nice catch, nice tackle. Good job by everybody involved.
Coach, we
real impressed with the tackling tonight. Again, you got two of the better coached teams around town, and the fundamentals have been on point, except for a little bit of ball security here and there.
Trips open set for Statler. Titans looking to get some rhythm. 1:22 left to play in the third quarter. Garces Rams up 22-21. Statler throwing a quick out. Uh-oh, we got a broken tackle, and that's a nice catch and gain.
1 yard short of the first down.
Rodriguez on the catch, tackled by Smith. Now seems the Titans are getting their rhythm. 3rd and 1, and they got a full house backfield before going empty.
All right, they're going to run quarterback draw.
And you got a nice pop pass. Inside is still on his feet across the 30. We're seeing some tough running after the catch.
That's Mason Tapia there, 6'2" wide receiver. Most guys go down after that, and he fought and got another 10, 15 yards.
Coach, exactly the words out of my mouth, because that was 12 on the dot after the contact, and you had 3 guys on him.
I like how Statler threw the fastball to him too. You know, didn't mess around, didn't try to touch or finesse the ball in there. Knows he's got a big receiver with good hands and put it right on him.
1st and 10 Titans. Rams with the 1-point lead, 12 seconds left in this third quarter. And this may be the last play of the quarter if they get it off, as they still try to get set. And they do get it off. And you got a ball and a wide open man, and that's going to be
he dropped. Wow, you do not see the Frontier Titans do that very often. A well-thrown ball, a wide open receiver, and just had too long to wait for the ball, I think, and got in his head a little bit.
Yeah, great point, Coach, because that did allow the defensive back to get back in there and fight through the risk at the last second. One of the things that we coach from the defensive back's perspective. But we'll have the end of the third quarter. Garces Rams came out smoking, but now they have backs against the wall. We'll stay here. Gives us time to thank our sponsors again at Valley Strong Credit Union. Also want to thank our staff down at the Kern High School District Superintendent's Office. Our boss, Stan Green. Once again, I got to mention it again. He don't want any credit, but I got to remind you guys, he's going into the Hall of Fame October 20th at Luigi. You can get your tickets at GoGaze.com to come out and celebrate the boss. Ooh.
You know, I just got to give Stan a lot of credit for the vision of taking this network online, and then, you know, the magazine that they put out, too, is just phenomenal. And anything that we can do to support these kids in these schools in a positive way, I think is excellent. And, you know, Stan's kind of the brains behind all that.
Man, beautiful thing, Coach. Achieve Magazine, go and get it. So Malachi Statler will have it, 2nd and 10. They're at the 23-yard line, motioning the double or twin set. And they're going quick screen outside, and great job by the defensive back just blowing it up, and that's how you coach it up. Oh, and now we got a late flag. And it looks like it's going to be on number 2. Might have been taunting, as it's going to negate an amazing play by the corner. And that's a situation where you just got to be thankful for making a good play and close the lips. Wow, so it's a I thought it was so late. I thought it was something that was said. I didn't see any helmet-to-helmet contact. Did you, Coach?
Well, I didn't see anything that looked out of the ordinary, that's for sure. Rough call going against the Rams on that one.
That's going to sting right there, because that would have ended up being a 3rd and about 12, and now they have a 1st and 10 with an opportunity to get a first down inside the 10-yard or inside the 2-yard line. So shotgun double set for Statler. Tough call.
Receivers in tight like that, they like to cross them.
Stadler pumps it. Just gets out of bounds after nothing was open. He tries to come to that short side. I was actually expecting combination corner route with all of that wide side of the field. Nonetheless,
Stadler took a pretty good hit there. I think he's all right, but kind of wiggling his arm and shoulder around. Say they lost a couple yards on that play.
yeah, he definitely lost a couple. Stadler's a big kid, though. He's not a small guy back there. And now they're going trips bunch set and probably looking to take advantage of a matchup up top.
Well, they got double coverage on the receiver up top.
Oh, and they go with the nice swing pass. And they get about 7 of that. And it's going to bring up a 3rd and about 3 as Tablet gets the catch. And this is that interesting area of the field, Coach, where not a lot of room to do much in the passing game. What do you do here if you're the Frontier Titans?
Well, you got Devin Cochran, who's been a beast, down at the bottom here. They're spread out, empty set.
And Stadler goes to double coverage, and this caught. Amazing pass.
That's Cochran, yeah, and that's what he does so well.
Wow.
So, and again, look at the placement of that ball by Stadler. Because you got a big receiver crossing over the middle there. He puts it up high. Cochran's facing him there. And, again, Bandy said when I was talking to him, great 50-50 ball catcher. And that's what you have right there. Just really tough to defend at that area because Frontier has legitimately 4 different guys they can go to that all give you problems.
And, Coach, that was defended very well because you had 2 underneath defenders in the flight of the ball. That was just placed where only your guy can get it.
Yeah, but your guy's Devin Cochran. He's a pretty good guy.
Man, Devin Cochran, boy, he's working on some special attention later on.
So Titans going for 2.
They go right back to Cochran, and it's another conversion. And how you like that? Devin Cochran putting on a show.
Yeah, he's just such a tough mismatch, but you add to it the great touch on the ball by the quarterback because you can have a great receiver if the quarterback can't put it near him, or if he throws that short, it negates the size advantage he has. But again, both quarterbacks really excelling at what they do best, with Malachi throwing the ball and Jordan Gallegos running that option.
Coach, I've been high on Stadler since midway through the first game. I was covering him just based on the fact of how many quarterbacks I've seen as a defensive back. Those are the kind of throws that I don't want to say I was ever scared of anybody from a quarterback's perspective, but you're worried because no matter how great your coverage is, he's putting it where you can't get to it.
Now, Garces is not respecting the leg of the Titans kicker. They force him back.
Oh, and he drops it. But they have great blocking, and if he can get around this next block, great return by the Garces Rams.
Yeah, good job by the Frontier kicker to put that over their head, force him backwards, and it looked like it was going to be a disaster for Garces. But heck of a good return there, giving him the ball in very positive field position. Down 7 points with 10:47 to go in the fourth.
Yeah, he basically outkicked his coverage right there. But, hey, if you're the Rams, you've had success. It's nothing to panic about. Just get back to what you came out doing. Oh, and they go speed option, but that's bottled up at first. But now he makes a great move and turns nothing into something. And that's a nice tackle at the end of that and a flex by number 22, James Moon.
6'1", 235 linebacker for the Titans. Junior do have a Titan down. Kevin Ross attending him out there. worked with Kevin for 9 years. Fantastic equipment guy and trainer. As good as you're going to get.
Yeah, and the injured Titan is Easton Conley, so we'll take a quick injury timeout and be back with more Kern High Network action with Kenny Calvin, Rich Cornford, and Dr. Julian Wilson.
We all come from different backgrounds and practice different traditions, but we belong to one humanity. At Valley Stream.
And we are back. The injured Titan, Mr. Conley, up on his feet. And now you got a 2nd and 3 for the Rams. They've been pretty efficient.
Yeah, only thing to slow down the Rams was that unforced fumble on the last possession, but they've been rolling this half.
Oh, and now he's rolling again as the quarterback keeps it. Gallegos doing a great job decision-making in this option offense.
Yes, he definitely has. This second half, they've leaned heavily on the option, and the option leads heavily on your quarterback making the right decision. And it seems like he's made it every single time this half.
Yeah, very impressed, Coach. He has the touchdown and the 2-point conversion, I believe. But right now, he just has command of his offense. Frontier is going to have to try to do something to get him behind the chains. They go toss sweep. And nice blocking outside, and that's another 7-yard gain.
A really good cut there by Smith. And what we're seeing from Garces, they're consistently picking up 5, 6, 7 yards on first down, just keeping their offense wide open, not being forced into those 3rd and longs, which really favor the defense.
Absolutely, and we talked about how good Cochran's been on offense. He's also playing very well on defense, because if he doesn't make that tackle, that might have been a touchdown. Unbalanced set. Trips open for the Rams. They go ISO inside. That's going to be another first down carry for the Rams. And it looks like we got a Titan defender getting up slow, but he gets up. Now you got the big man coming back in, Travis Perry. He needed a break because he's been on all cylinders as well today.
It is fun to call offense when everything you're calling is working, And right now, Coach Gola is in that zone where they've figured a few things out, and they're able to put their strength on any little weakness they see from the Titans.
Yeah, great decision-making and calling. But right there, you got problems in the mesh point, and that's the first discombobulation we've seen in the second half.
Yeah, looks like he picked up 3 on the play, so ended up not being a disaster, but a better job by the Frontier defense on first down than they had been doing. Have not seen Garces really try to throw it all this half, as they relied heavily on the run game, and it's worked for him.
Right, and my old Coach Parker, I referenced him earlier, we were heavy veer offense. They go toss sweep, and huge play in the backfield, and that's the kind of play you need. And what we talked about, and who was it? Bryson Tablet with the huge play in the backfield, and those are the kind of plays that you have to have against option teams to throw them off schedule.
Well, going to that toss just one too many times, I guess, and that penetration straight up the field. Now this is where Garces does not want to be, 3rd and 12.
7:25 to play. Garces heading south, and now they're rolling right. He got pressure, and he's going to keep it and get enough to get out of bounds, and that's a nice scamper out to about the 26-yard line, maybe the 23-yard line.
Going to be about a yard or 2 short, so big call here coming up. We've seen him be successful on some 2-point conversions, and essentially that's what you're working with here. 4th and about a yard and a half to 2 yards. Again, their best offensive lineman, left tackle, number 68, Davis May, Sac State Verbal, runs a 5'1" 40 at 305 pounds.
Woo. Boy, that's a lot of weight moving pretty quick.
Yep. He wrestles, throws the shot put and discus, one of those three-sport guys.
4th and 1, Coach. This is huge. Rams up, and now we got what we got. Oh, timeout Rams at the last second. What do you see there, Coach?
Well, looked like that Garces run that option play to the left. I couldn't tell yet if it looked great or not before that timeout was called.
It looked to me like they had what they wanted going that way as they were heavy right. And I don't know if the team wanted the timeout because they felt like they had it. Now it gives the defense the opportunity to set up and regroup. We'll see what pays off. 4th and short.
Well, the ultimate chess match between two of the best coaches in Kern County, Chris Bandy and Paul Gola here. Bandy's calling the defense. Gola's calling the offense.
This game has been everything as advertised, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. You had a situation where the Garces Rams were pretty much favored coming in. Came out favored after the first drive. Titans come back and have a great second quarter. Garces comes back and have an amazing third quarter. Titans answer back. What will Garces do with this 4th and short after the timeout? Okay, so we have another stoppage in play. So
what's that
real
about?
quick.
Oh, the band. The band was playing.
Wow, so they're telling the band to stop playing music.
So now the crowd picks up the volume.
And I don't know if he got that, Coach.
I think he did.
Oh,
on
after
the
the second
push.
push.
The Bush push got him there.
Wow.
Initially stoned pretty cold by the Frontier Titans, but he found a little crease and his running back pushed him from behind, which is legal these days. In the old days, they'd have called that aiding the runner.
Well, we saw aiding the runner call in the Driller Frontier game, and it looks like Frontier got the stop.
Really?
From a standpoint of where the officials are
now, why
standing.
they mark the ball 50 feet away?
Right.
Instead of
that's very confusing because the ball was ran to the right. You would think that the official on the right side would have the best spot, but they go to the spot on the top. And it looks like it's at about the 22.5, maybe the 22-yard line. The sticks look like they are right at the 22-yard line. Let me pull out the binoculars.
Pull out the credit card.
Oh, yeah, I was at that game in Oakland, too, when they worked this Cowboys-Raiders game. And we don't have any index cards on us right now, but that looks like it's going to be a first down. Rams. Very interesting to see the spot taken from one hash all the way to the other hash.
Yeah, because ball ended up in the middle of the field. Now it's spotted on the hash mark. So I know they must have gone with the head linesman's call right there, but why you move the ball all the way over there?
Very interesting. So nonetheless, 6:56 to play, 29-22. We got a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen. The Garces Rams at their 22-yard line, facing a tough Frontier defense. And now they go toss sweep. And it looks like they have some nice blocking outside, but great pursuit. Oh, and that ball came out. But they're saying that he was down, even though it looked like he was still up, and Smith is getting up slow.
Now, Smith has missed the last few games. He definitely attacked the linebacker there, and both guys, I think, a little worse for wear after that play.
Absolutely, Coach. But one thing about it, it didn't look like a 5-yard game, but that's tough 5 yards. And if you can do that every time you touch the football, you're putting your offense in a position to be very successful. 2nd and 5. Garces Rams come out in a shotgun spread set that we haven't seen often. Actually, trips open set. This Frontier defensive line hasn't been very effective in the second half. And now we have a delay of game.
Is that? Huh.
You know, so it's been some interesting sequence of events as the intensity level rises. Garces is going to stay in that trips open set. Frontier trying to make some substitutions. Oh, and they go read zone, and that's a huge run inside.
That was a huge hole over there. Great push by the Garces offensive line. Give the big boys some credit up front for winning that battle.
Absolutely, Coach, because you could have drove a Winnebago sideways through that hole.
I think if I'm the Rams, I'd try and run it. Well, with Frontier's able to substitute here, but they could have got him before the substitution, run the same play.
They go right back inside, and that's going to be another first down carry.
Garces winning the line of scrimmage right now.
We've seen Frontier in the 40 front. We've seen him in the 30 front. Definitely want to figure out a way to try to calm this running game down, but they're doing exactly what they need to do on the offensive end in the Rams. Titans need to get some kind of penetration. First and 10. Speed option. Oh, and that's an amazing tackle. Shoestring tackle.
London Heredia over there making that play.
Heredia has made some fantastic plays just by keeping containment.
When you're playing that option, it's assignment football on defense. And he did a great job getting out to the pitch and bringing them down. 2nd and 11.
4:14 to play. The clock is ticking away. Frontier trying to do their best to have their goal line stance. And now they got a slant pass, and that's a great job by the defensive end getting his hands up. And that was number 7, Brady Durkin, with possibly the play of the game, as if he doesn't get his hands up, Coach, that's a completed slant pass.
Great play by the sophomore there in a big situation. And Garces backed up. Now, Garces has been running the ball pretty good between the tackles. And, I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't try that again. But they have got to get a touchdown this drive here.
Yeah, because that time is running out. And they're staying in that trips open set, and they go right back to inside run, and that's going to be a touchdown for the Rams.
Smith back in there, and he is a ball of electricity over there. Like I said, a 500-pound squat on a kid, that's about 5'7". So trying to tackle a rolling ball.
We all come from different backgrounds.
I heard the rolling ball of butcher knives. Nobody want to get in front of that.
No. And now we've got the play of the game, literally, because you're down 1 and you're going for 2.
Oh, huge
4 minutes
play.
left in the game. They've been successful on both of their other 2-point conversions.
And they're going speed option. Oh, and that's a lateral. And that's going to be, that's going to be close. Oh, he stepped out. He stepped out, so it's going to be no good. He stretched across the goal line, but stepped out. And a great stop by the Titans. And they hold on to the 1-point lead. So, Coach, now, do you see the onside kick again?
Man, you got 2 timeouts left. I mean, sheesh.
Woo, that's a tough call.
Yeah, because this Frontier offense is so potent. But the one thing about the Frontier offense is it's predominantly pass-oriented, which helps you if you're the defense because it stops the clock anytime they throw an incompletion. So I think I'm kicking it deep or, deep enough, and depending on my defense to get me a stop with hopefully 2 minutes to play or so. But we know that Garces, especially their field goal unit, is not very good. And we talked about early in the game that it could come down to special teams, and the fact that they struggle so much on their specifically field goal kicking because of their snapping situation is really going to be big here.
You're absolutely right, Coach, because ultimately that missed PAT earlier is still the difference.
And because they're not very good at it, even though you're down 1, you probably have to depend on getting a touchdown because I don't think you can depend on yourself kicking from any kind of range.
And it looks like the way that ball is placed, it may be an onside opportunity.
Frontier's got their onside return team out there.
Oh, and they squib it. And now you got the Titans,
Nice
across
move.
the 30. Makes an amazing move. Appleton still on his feet. I believe it was Appleton. And they're going to have great. Oh, and that was actually not Appleton. That was.
Well, the field position they got, Garces would have been almost as good off trying the onside kick. Looked
Wow.
like a good squib. They put it in a good spot, but great job returning it by the Titans.
Yeah, I think that may have been Mason Tapia.
So if I'm Garces here, you got to take some chances with those guys out wide, just playing a man-to-man, because you cannot let Frontier just run the ball and ride the game out. Sometimes I get frustrated with these teams that continue to play too high when they've got to have a stop in the run game. You take a chance.
Right, but and also you can't be so soft, because the Titans will actually take those quick hitch routes if you're playing 8 to 10 yards off based on the talent that's on the outside.
Yeah.
With
Just my personal philosophy would be go cover zero there and super load the box, take my chances with the deep ball. Even if they throw the deep ball on you and they score with 3:30 to go, you're still just down a score because you're going to go for 2 later on. At least you got the ball back from there.
Great point.
I just don't like them working the ball down the field and running that clock on me.
I agree, Coach, because we've talked about dictating offense from a defensive perspective. Sometimes you have to force the hand of the offense to do what you want them to do based on what you're giving them. And right now you have to put every man in the box to try to stop the run, because they're going to try to run the ball to keep the clock moving and get you to use those timeouts, which they just used one, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so that being said, Garces did do a great job of getting a winning first down, holding that first play to just 2 yards. But again, I'm pushing those safeties up if I'm the Rams.
I agree, Coach, because this is way too loose coverage for me from a perspective of playing an offense that's aggressive and going to continue to probably try to throw the football based on the fact they're not wanting to give it back to you with 3:40 left to play.
Yeah, you've got really sure-handed receivers. I thought there was a timeout, so.
So we have a.
Oh, they're winding the clock. So they didn't take a timeout. I don't know.
That was very interesting,
what's going
Coach.
on there.
Shotgun
if that's
double
the case,
set.
they should hold on to the ball here and not snap it for another 25, 30 seconds.
I agree, and that's probably what Coach Bandy is screaming from the sideline as well. Wait for the signal, because the official has to give you a signal based on the fact that there's no
There he goes right
clock.
now.
Oh, and you got a completed pass, and the receiver does the perfect thing and stays in bounds after the first down reception, and that very well could be the result of the game, as this clock is going to continue to wind. And that was exactly our point, Coach.
Yeah, they can throw the ball over my head, but they're not going to run it. They're not going to throw it short on me and just grind that clock down. So here they coming up a little bit tighter now.
First and 10 Titans, 2:36 to play, and they are in no hurry as they go ISO, and that's a nice first down yardage run, and that's about 9 more.
Yeah, so the issue again here for Garces is it's not like they're going to be able to kick a 40-yard field goal to win it, where they're going to have to basically get a touchdown here, and this clock running, they'll snap it with about a minute 50 to go. Garces has 2 timeouts. They can't allow another first down here.
Yeah, and it's 2nd and 2. And with basically, like you said, Coach, we're under the 2-minute mark. They're going to have about 10 seconds to play with as they get lined up. And more than likely,
I don't know. I'm sending the house.
And they do. And they give up another first down and more, and that might do it, Coach.
So a minute 39, you got 2 timeouts left. So you could still get a stop. The problem is Frontier, punts the ball, and you got to go 90 yards with no timeouts. And you'd have about 20 seconds to do it.
Yeah, with the aggressiveness that I've seen from the Titans offense in the past, and now we have a timeout, Rams.
But about 10 seconds came off there before that timeout was called.
I agree, Coach. So we'll stay here with 1:24 to play. And it's a 29-28 game. We definitely won't start talking like it's over because we've seen interesting things happen.
Boy, did you watch any of the Colts-Broncos game?
I missed it.
Similar situation, and Russell Wilson threw that interception up late in the game when the other team didn't have any more timeouts.
I missed it, but I'm going to go ahead and say, as a Raider fan, I like it.
It was an ugly game. You didn't miss much.
I was told. I saw a meme today that said, if you watch the Rams-Colts game, you might be entitled to compensation. It was that bad, I was told. But right now, we got a great one, Coach, and it's been an honor to call this one with you. I admire your football brain.
Here come the Rams, got everybody up.
You want to tell this running back to cover the ball up because he's definitely carrying it like a loaf of bread.
No, he did a good job of staying in bounds because it looked like he was going to drift out of bounds there.
Whew, so tough timeout. Talk about stressing, and I'm not even coaching tonight.
So the Rams are out of timeouts.
And was that the first down carry, Coach?
I believe so.
Okay, so we have second down with 1:12. Basically, the Titans are going to have to do their best to try to move these chains again so they don't put themselves in an awkward situation that have to try to kick, because that can turn out to be an interesting situation.
Right. And, again, I've seen their snap is a little loopy too. So if it came down to that, I'm probably just, I don't know, throwing the ball in that situation. If it's fourth down, you just take a shot deep, run some clock that way, give them the ball 75 yards away. But we can expect a heavy dose of the run game here.
1:12 to play. 2nd and 8. Hand off on the inside, and they get about 7. Or maybe about 4, but it's going to bring up a 3rd and about 4. And they're not going to snap this ball until about the 30-second mark.
Which should end it.
Once
it gets under 40 there. Should have a victory formation here.
So, Coach, it's been an amazing game.
Still in the shotgun, though.
And they go right back to the ice, or to the power. And that's going to bring up 4th down, but with 22 seconds left, they will not have to line up and snap it, Coach, and that's going to do it. And the Frontier Titans look like the kings of the River League in the South Yosemite.
Yeah, big win for the Titans against a good Garces opponent. Heck of a game.
Heck of a game. Great output on both sides. But, Coach, I definitely got to ask you, being somebody that admires you, who do you have for our player of the game? We had a lot of great output from a lot of great guys, but it was some fantastic play from several individuals on the Frontier Titans.
Well, I got to say, Devin Cochran was a man amongst boys tonight. When they needed yards, when they needed big play, when it came down to that critical spot at the end, we said, watch Devin Cochran, and he came through for him. So I'm going Devin Cochran, player of the game.
I agree, Coach. He had the one play where he caught the hitch. He caught it at about 6 yards and ended up getting like 17 more yards, carrying about 4 defenders. And this was a huge character win for Coach Bandy and the Frontier Titans. Very impressive. I've been impressed with them time and time again. just fantastic job by the Titans. But also hats off to the Garces Rams because they looked like they were out of it in the first half, and they came back and battled back.
Yeah, really good football game, very well coached teams. They'll both be very successful going forward.
So that is it. Devin Cochran will be our player of the game for our Kern High Network broadcast. We want to thank our team at Valley Strong Credit Union, our sponsors. We want to thank our team at Kern High School District, our boss Stan Green, the Hall of Famer, going in on October the 20th. We're going to celebrate you, Stan, whether you like it or not, man. We're so proud of you. I'll be there. I'm trying to recruit everybody else to come. Special thanks to all of our team at the Kern High School District Superintendents, our Secretary Deanna Ribbons, all of our other staff across the town, making all of these great moments. Dr. Julian Wilson, Coach Cornford, it's been an honor to share the air with you. Good night from Kern High Network Football.